Hello there, this is Jeff Perkins with File Magic Cutlery. Tonight I am going to be doing a review of some of the older knives that I had done file work on in the past. Growing up, I started out doing file work on factory knives when I was probably about 8 to 10 years old. A custom knife maker by the name of Joe Kunth out of Rockford, Illinois had showed me how to do it at gun shows, and from there it just kind of took on a life of its own. I did a lot of file work all the way through high school and college. These knives here were more of an example of file work versus me selling these knives. Most of the work that I did in the past was on the Hubertus switchblades. Did a lot of file work on those, as well as swapping out handles. A lot of the Boker switchblades, a number of Buck switchblades. Just a lot of work was done on that type of knife. Of course, because of the increase in value for being different than that type of thing, so people could sell them at higher prices. So this isn't so much a review of the 4-case knives here, it's just kind of a quick video to show you some of the different patterns I had done in the past. I will be starting up here again soon. I've got a really nice blackjack that I'm working on right now. It was in one of my previous videos, so I will be getting that one finished up, and then it'll have an exclusive video just on that one. I am doing the titanium anodizing, so I'm going to try and get into some knives where I can combine the two of those. I know Spyderco's got a beautiful little lock back that's got a Damascus blade, titanium handles, and should be a real easy one to take apart because it does have the Allen wrench screws or Trock screws. So that'll probably be one that I pick up fairly soon to go ahead and do some file work on, and then go ahead and get out for sale in the marketplace. So real quick, we'll go ahead and kind of run through some of these patterns. This is a little case, 2-blade. All of these case knives were late 90s. This one actually, if I can get it to zoom in here. Yeah, it's not. Okay, this one is a case XS tested 1889 to 1989, so that gives you an idea of how old some of these are. Again, this isn't really a review on the knife itself, but some of the file work that was done. So I would go ahead and do the file work on the liners. And of course the main locks was the majority of where the file work was done. Of course, this is a very small knife. The lockback itself is probably 1/16 of an inch as far as the actual lock that the file work was done. So this is an example of one of the smaller ones that I had done. I prefer to be on a little bit bigger knife. This is another nice little case lockback. Again, it's going to be late 80s, early 90s. This was just a straight pattern all the way across. Catches the light nicely with that nice little black plastic handle. Again, it's just kind of an example of some of the work that I've done in the past, and I will be going back into here pretty soon. This one's a little bit fancier. Again, you're looking at another case knife. Case USA, looks like 1993. This one has got kind of a nice vine pattern to it. In the bottom, I went with a bigger vine with the two sharp lines, and then I went into the single kind of more medium circle with the line going to give it a nice vine type contrast, and then just took it up to the tip and did a couple quick angled swedges there. I did do the liners on this one as well. Sometimes I did liners, sometimes I didn't. On the back here I didn't do the liner. I found that the liners on the back would tend to take away from the filework itself on the lock. So I tried to adjust things as I got into doing more. So that's a nice little pattern. The next one is a case hammerhead. It's one I did quite a while ago as well. A much bigger pattern, kind of a deeper cut in with the two medium semicircles and the one triangle into it. Pretty simple pattern, but looked nice. This one I did do the liners as well, and if you look way down in, it's a little harder to see, it's a little dirty in there, older knife. But yes, I used to do the back of the lock bars as well when we got into the bigger knives. The liner is done up through the bolster as well. This one saw a lot of carry time as well, so this is a much older knife. Carried a lot as a kid, and it was good knife for carrying, that type of thing. But again, just kind of showing some examples of the file work that I had done in the past. I do expect that my patterns here in the future are going to be a little bit more intricate. A lot of these are more simple. I really wish that I had some of the different Hubertuses that I had worked on. These were earlier patterns on the knives that I just showed you here. I definitely got into a lot more intricate work as I got into it, especially when I was in my college age and was doing them on the weekends when I was coming home from school, that type of thing. But unfortunately, that was the early 90s. We didn't have a whole lot with the digital cameras, so I don't have a whole lot of documentation of some of that stuff that was done. I did do a lot of work in Utah for a gentleman from Sun Valley Knives in Arizona. He was heavy into the switchblade market. Not wanting to focus here. Let's see if we can get this to focus. We're going to focus. There we go. So I did a lot of work for him. He is when I primarily started getting into the handle work as well. A lot of pearl handles, some abalone handles, a lot of different crazy looking synthetic stuff. Just things that would dress them up, make them stand out a little bit different than the average ones. Just to make them more marketable and sellable. So I will definitely be starting back up with some of the file work. Again, I am going to try and tie more of the titanium anodizing into it as well. I will probably start playing with some of the handles. I'm definitely much more into the tactical type knives these days. Tactical, EDC, that type of thing. I definitely won't be going back and doing much of the case knives or anything like that. In reality, these knives potentially would have been worth more without the file work, but they were what I had on hand, so that's what I worked on and I used to show people some of the different patterns. There will be a couple more videos coming. I've got some rigid USA knives that are done up really nicely. I do have a beautiful dagger that's a rigid USA knife. Unfortunately, it does have an imitation abalone handle on it right now. I'll probably swap that out for a pearl, natural mother of pearl handle. Make that much more beautiful and definitely worth a little bit more money. I've got a couple different old rigid USA knives that have firework on them, as well as some Bear and Sons and that type of thing. So you will see those videos coming soon, just to give you some examples of some of the stuff I've worked on. And thank you again for tuning in, and hopefully you will see more extravagant file work in the near future. Have a good night.